Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. Well, even though it was 36 degrees out this morning, at least it's not snowing like it is in Cadillac. So welcome this morning to our beautiful venue here at Tam O'Shanter. We're here for the first time, and I think the room is beautiful. All of you look terrific, and I'm happy to welcome you this morning. We are celebrating the Michigan Week Breakfast again, this year celebrating Signs for Our Times. I'd like you to take a look, if you haven't already, at the terrific sponsors we have of our event this morning. They're up here on a banner behind me. And I'm sure a lot of you have had some opportunity to look at the signs all around the room. Also photos and signs on your tables and in your program. We're going to have a chance to learn a lot more about that program in just a little while. Before we begin, I don't know if the Walled Lake Central Quartet is still here. I hope they are. Please join me in thanking Heidi Tigas and the orchestra quartet. The quartet was from Walled Lake Central, and we really appreciate them being here this morning. Please help me welcome Reverend Paul Thwaite, Orchard Lake Community Church Presbyterian, for our invocation, which will now be a thank you prayer since most of you have eaten.
It's retroactive. And as Psalm 118 says, this is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. It's a beautiful morning, and we celebrate in our faith community this year the 140th year of our presence in this community. July 18th, 1874 was the first worship service at the Orchard Lake Chapel. Colin and Caroline Campbell, who owned and lived on Apple Island, established that chapel to worship the Lord and to give thanks to God for the beautiful, beautiful area that we live in. So let's do that together this morning as we bow our hearts together in prayer. Gracious God, God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, God of the prophets, God of the apostles, we pause this morning to honor and give thanks to you as we prepare to honor and recognize individuals and organizations who make a difference in our lives and in this place. For, Lord, we acknowledge that we would not be here were it not for your creation and sustaining provision for us, including the food that we have partaken of here this morning that nourishes our bodies. We give you thanks this day, Lord, for those who have gotten up early this morning to prepare that food and who serve it to us and to care for us as we eat this breakfast together this morning. We honor and give thanks to you, O God, as the one who has established and sustained us in freedom in this land. And Lord, we recognize that that freedom depends upon our willingness to serve and honor you and serve and love one another. So, Lord, we pray today for your blessing on this event. As we honor and give thanks to individuals and organizations, we recognize, Lord, that you are the one who provides the talents and abilities that we are entrusted with, that we might use them, Lord, to honor you and to be a blessing to others in our community. So, Lord, really, as we honor them, we honor and give thanks to you. We thank you for this beautiful area. We recognize your hand in creating it, and we pray that we may be good stewards of what you have entrusted into our care. Lord, we pray for our communities. We pray for our county, for southeastern Michigan, and for our nation. Lord, that in these days you would renew and revive us, not only financially and physically, but spiritually as well. So, Lord, we honor and give thanks to you as the provider of all good gifts, and we pray your blessing on all that is said and done in this place today. We ask it in your precious and holy name. Amen.
Thank you, Pastor Paul. I would like now to invite everyone to stand as we honor America with the singing of our national anthem by Walled Lake Central High School student Michael Perry.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
How do you get somebody nominated to sing at a Tigers game? I think we got a candidate here for sure. That was terrific. That was amazing. Now it is my pleasure to introduce Brian Yap, who is the Director of Operations and Community Liaison of Motor City's National Heritage Area. That is a nonprofit affiliate of the National Park Service, which is dedicated to preserving and promoting the automotive and labor heritage of Southeast Michigan. Brian is here this morning to tell us about this exciting program. Brian.
Well, thank you, and good morning again. I hope everyone has enjoyed the breakfast. I know I certainly enjoyed double portion, so I appreciate that. The setting here is also quite amazing. I don't know how many people shared the fact that this is their first time visiting this venue, for really is quite spectacular. So thanks to all of those who made this possible. Before I actually even get started, I want to thank Gina Gregory from the West Bloomfield Historical Society, as well as Helen Jane Peters for, I'm sure, her hand in making sure that we had an opportunity to speak during this presentation. So thanks to those. I think what just happened is that before most of us would have even gone to work today, before it's 8 a.m., you all probably just learned something, is that you are sitting in a National Heritage Area. How many people knew that before they came here this morning? Wow. Well, congratulations then. So right here and right now, you are sitting in a very special place, a place that is honored for its heritage, for its contribution to American history. So the Motor City's National Heritage Area, again, is a nonprofit affiliate of the National Park Service. So just as Yellowstone or the Grand Canyon or any of those other great parks, we are a unit of the National Park Service supported through the Department of the Interior. It was created in 1998 by an act of Congress and bipartisan support of Representative John Dingell and at that time Representative Joe Nolenberg to recognize this area of southeastern Michigan for its massive contribution to American and actually international culture. Our contribution, of course, is the automotive and labor industry. And so today we continue to honor that. But I wanted to let you know a little bit more about Motor Cities before we got into the meat of what we're going to talk about here today. Our mission, again, is to promote, preserve, interpret the automotive and labor story here in the region. We do that through a couple of different mission areas, the first being tourism. So tourism, auto heritage tourism, of course, we have tons of museums, the largest concentration of automotive-related attractions in the world here in this region is something to be proud of. And we call it the Motor Cities because it's not just Detroit, in the Motor City. It's all of the cities who made that possible. It's Flint, it's Lansing, it's Kalamazoo, it's Ypsilanti, and all the others in between that made the automobile industry what it is. So people travel from worlds around to come visit these attractions, all the museums that we all know and love, but also the historic sites that you can only visit here in Southeast Michigan. Some statistics come back to say that more than 7 million people visited these attractions throughout last year alone. About 3 of those million people visited our museums, and another 6 million people visited our automotive events. So it just shows you how important those events like the Woodward Dream Cruise, events like the Concours d'Elegance, they draw visitors from all over the world, and those visitors come and invest dollars here in our region. So we certainly welcome them with open arms. So just to give you an idea, heritage tourism is a huge part of what we do in promoting the region. Certainly education is key. Education is that opportunity to present information to not only a current generation, but certainly to plant the seed for generations to come. So we make sure that we put extra effort in making sure that we educate ourselves, our current generation, and our young people. Without that, the history is lost. A lot of times the things exist not even properly preserved in books and through photos, but they exist in the recesses of our minds, and we need to make sure that that information is somehow interpreted and laid out so people from generations unborn can still be hearing about the stories that made this region so great. So education is key. Motor City supports things like the Automotive Authors Book Fair, where these are actual stewards of these stories, people who research and document the history of this automobile industry, and each year they gather together to promote that. Every week, Motor Cities publishes a story of the week as part of our newsletter. That story is a little bit of information about your automotive history. It may tell the story of a vehicle or a designer or an artist or a community, and all of those stories are part of the fabric that creates our auto heritage. If you have not been receiving that, I would love to get you all signed up on the list, and believe me, you'll learn something every week because I do. One of the exciting education programs that we launched out in Kalamazoo area is called the Gilmore Garage Works. What it was an opportunity to take at-risk students who had all but checked out of high school and said, you know, I don't think I can finish up, I don't think I have a reason to. And we said we've got to think of a motivation for these young people to continue and stay the course. So the Gilmore Car Museum worked with us, along with some donors and some volunteers, engineers and others, that said we're going to start a mentoring program where these young people will be inspired and encouraged to continue their education by coming after school to this Gilmore Garage Works, where they learn the automotive trades, they learn vehicle restoration and things like that. But I think they learned tenfold life lessons about what they need to do in order to manage themselves. And all of those students that we've put through that program have returned to high school and finished and have gone on to community and other four-year universities. So we're so proud of that as an outreach of our education programming. Then there's preservation, so physical preservation of our story, not just artifacts as in our historic places, but factories and things like that, places where this automotive history was made. But of course, like anything, if it's not protected, it can be lost, and we've already lost quite a bit of it. The reason that Motor Cities was founded, in fact, is that we realized that as the auto industry continued to go on, we were supporting a living industry. They may not have spent as much time thinking about history as they're thinking about the next year's product, but somebody had to, and Motor Cities' role is to say, we need to make sure that history is preserved. So our projects range from things like the Ford Paquette Avenue plant in the middle of the Milwaukee Junction area of Detroit. This was Henry Ford's first factory, more than 100 years old, and it still stands today as a monument to that company, and still now a thriving museum and education center because of the efforts of Motor Cities to capture the building, to continue to invest funds into it and support it over the years. And now it is, proud to say, a National Historic Landmark, and again, open as a museum. So things like that, things like the Haven Hill Complex in the Highland Recreation area in Oakland County. This was Edsel Ford's home, or one of his homes. He's got his home in Grosse Pointe Shores, but he also had a home there. Again, part of that story is lost, where if that facility is not saved and actively preserved and interpreted, then that story is lost. So we're so proud to continue to support that. In fact, over Motor City's existence since 1998, we've invested $1.3 million in grants directly to our partners to make sure that these projects, all of them, and all the unique stories and opportunities across the region are certainly preserved and respected. And the final element of our mission is interpretation. It's really what we're here to talk about today. Interpretation is that process of delivering a heritage message and telling a story in a compelling way so that people will be engaged, because you can preserve all you want, you can document all you want, but things can sit on shelves and never be seen again. It's the opportunity to tell the story in a compelling way, and that's what we're so excited about here today. Of course, some of those grants that we've given over the years have been to support things like museum exhibits, of course, because that's the sort of thing that we need to do. So each time you visit a place like the Sloan Museum or the Ypsilanti Auto Heritage Center, you are getting information about that region that has been interpreted through those dedicated people. Last year, we did quite a bit of interpretation on Henry Ford's 150th birthday. Over 100 events, so 30 partners came together to talk about this unique automotive pioneer who went from a tinkerer to a titan, and there's quite a bit of story that led up to that. So we were proud to have worked with the Henry Ford Heritage Association and others on that partnership. There are a lot of terms that describe, and what I've been explaining here, a lot of terms that describe Motor Cities, but we plucked these out that seem to describe us the best. Is we are a collaborator, we're a convener, we're a catalyst, and we're a champion for those who continue to support the automotive heritage of this region, and we will continue to do that. An example of that is certainly the project we're here to talk about today. It's the Wayside Exhibit Program, and all around the room you see the foam core versions of the actual signs that have been installed around your region. So if you have not taken the opportunity, you will now to go out and check these signs out. The Wayside Exhibit Program is a special grant project through the Michigan Department of Transportation and actually through the Federal Highway Administration, administered through Motor Cities National Heritage Area. The idea was that a group of people in 2004 actually thought about another level, another way that we can creatively tell the story of our region and add a little something more to the landscape. Something more from the MDOT perspective other than orange barrels that we see along the highway. So we needed something a little different from MDOT. And actually, somebody got that. The rest of us enjoy the orange barrels, I guess. But the point is that we had an opportunity to do something different, something unique in their transportation enhancement program. These are the same sorts of funds that will be used to, plant the trees and cut the grass and things like that have to be done. But believe it or not, it's a very small part of their overall budget. About 5% of it is used for that. So a ton of the money does go to the orange barrels, and hopefully we'll reap the benefits of that. But a little bit of it has been carved away for this program. And so they created an unprecedented grant. They really have not in their history, and may not after they're done with this, do another project similar to this, where they are granting funds directly to their communities and to their partners to make sure that stories are told. And it's not about roadside signage. It's not about highway exit signs and orange barrels. It's about a story that weaves their landscapes together across the state. In 2007, Motor Cities coordinated the interests of all of our communities and launched this program. We contracted historians, graphic designer, interpretive writer to make sure that things were done in a professional manner and told the stories of our community. And the result of that is a series of interpretive panels. Believe it or not, there will be upwards of 230 of these panels across the entire state, 10,000 square miles of southeast Michigan, to be exact, again, in cities like Lansing and Flint, in Ypsilanti and Detroit and Dearborn, and right here, of course, in West Bloomfield, Keego Harbor, Sylvan Lake, and all around you. So these signs are all over the landscape here, and each one of those communities has a unique story to tell. It's really stories about people, about ideas and places that influence auto culture, as our entire program is about people. You hear about automobiles, and you can celebrate your 57 Chevys and your Ford Mustangs, but really it's about the Joseph Campos and the Ransom Olds and the Henry Joys and the Henry Fords who created this industry, and these are the names that you think of when you talk about automotive. So it's really about the people and the places and the ideas. But I think the challenge with all of these was that you had to look further and talk about how automotive influenced your community. And you'll see a variety of those topics in these signs, talking about roadside culture and the way people live and recreation and travel and the things that automotive afforded to a community as it continued to grow, even in the turn of the last century and certainly even today. So we had great examples all across the communities. But the question we were faced with when we started was, how are these different than, say, the typical Michigan historic markers? So you see those all over the place. They mark historic sites or historic events, and we had to challenge ourselves and say, how are they different? I think visually we can say that those historic markers are usually huge bronze placards, usually very dense in words, no imagery on those. If you take a look around, you see that these are vivid imaginations, vivid interpretations of stories that jump out to you, that show you without even having to read them that show you and tell you what happened in these areas. Plus, we didn't have to place them in place, on a historic site. We didn't have to put them in a place where something happened. We could litter them throughout the landscape of the community, and most have done that. Most have put them, most have put them on their trails, which is what has happened here, in their parks, at their city halls, and at their museums and other places where people naturally gather. So instead of putting a marker at a location at an old factory that may have been torn down 30 years ago, and you say, boy, I hope somebody walks by this one day, we put them in places where people are naturally gathering, in their city centers and their city halls and along their recreation trails, and say, we know that someone will be engaged as they jog along, and they'll maybe jog a little slower when they see one of these signs come up. So that was definitely one of the first hurdles to get over. Our designer for the signs, Project Arts and Ideas, and Joe Hines in particular, is not here today, but he would certainly want me to share with you that his motivation in all of the work that he did on the signs was to add a voice to the landscape, to places that you know are special, that you live in the community, but maybe you didn't realize as you go by. Just as we didn't realize that we were in a National Heritage Area. Many people don't realize the story in the automotive history that happened right in your own backyard. So as you do that, it adds an additional voice to an area without someone having to come and tell you. You can read it there on your own. This story was so important that though the program launched in 2007, and MDOT said, well, you've got 3 years to pull this off. But here we are in May of 2014, so we say, well, how did this happen? The story was so important to them that they went back to the drawing board. They went back to their grant makers in D.C., as well as those in the state, and said, we need more time. We need more opportunity to tell more stories. And they extended that grant for another 3.5 years to lead us to where we are today. So we are closing out this program this year thanks to the generosity of the Michigan Department of Transportation and their hard work, as well as an additional $100,000 that they gave in order to support the program. So this does not happen without the Michigan Department of Transportation. So we want to make sure that they are honored here today. The story was, again, so important that they wanted to make sure that communities continue to rediscover themselves, to learn more about it. So one of the most encouraging things and the most vivid images I'm going to remember from this is any number of dedications that I've been to for these. But one was in Hamtramck, where we were dedicating along a line talking about Polish-American auto workers. And the mayor of Hamtramck and some of the other city officials, Historical Society was there. But it was the community, the citizens who came out and they started to talk to each other. And I saw generations from 80 to 8 years old sharing stories, pointing down the street and saying, this used to be this, and this was this, and my dad did this. And you say, this is the reason why these signs exist, is to bridge that gap and to connect those stories together and make sure they're not lost. So it bridges all generations, and I think that's the prevailing value of the signage here. So as you leave here even today, I hope that you take an opportunity to look around the room here and then look around your landscape. I think there's going to be a map very soon of all of the signs in this area, in Oakland County, and ultimately across the 10,000 square miles that Motor Cities covers. And so you'll be able to take a look at all of them and learn a little bit more, not only about your area, but about other areas in this auto heritage. So as I close, I just want to thank some other people who absolutely made this possible, that there was no way we could have pulled this off in this area without their support. And the first sitting here is Motor Cities board member and longtime supporter of all and anything that we've done in the community, especially here in Oakland County. She's with Oakland County's economic development. Nancy Thompson, would you stand and be recognized? So when this program started, Nancy said, I know the stories are there, and I know we want to mine them out. And she continued to work and work and work in a bulldogish way to make sure that these people knew that there was an opportunity. And that opportunity was trickled down through a number of community meetings, from cold nights in basements of places to huge gatherings where we said, this is your chance. And I can't even count the numbers, but we are up in close to 100 signs mixed with all of her influence throughout Oakland County. So we want to thank Nancy for her efforts in pulling all this together. Even more locally than that, very soon we will have over 50 signs just in Pontiac. And so a gentleman who was the champion for that and is sitting here and certainly needs to be honored as well is from the city of Pontiac, Ron Gay. And correct me if I'm wrong, but Ron is the person that after we did our presentation to Pontiac, he spidered that message out and let other people know, and I believe that is how we were connected to Helen Jane and to the Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society and all the partners that made this happen. So he truly is the one who lit the match to get this fire going. So we want to thank Ron for his efforts. And as I take my seat, I want to take a moment to ask anyone who had anything to do, because Gina shared with me a list of all the supporters, but there's no way that you can recognize all of them. We know that with every community, there are tons of people who work behind the scenes tirelessly to the early hours, contemplating and having great consternation about how these signs were going to work, because it's their story and it's so personal to their community. So I want to ask anyone who had anything to do with the signage here in this area to have please stand. So on behalf of Motor City's National Heritage Area and the Michigan Department of Transportation, we sincerely thank you with our deepest gratitude for all of your hard work and dedication. Thank you.
You know, it's interesting, Brian. I have a very clear memory of those green historical markers and how my parents forced us to go off the road and read them and how incredibly boring they were. So yesterday when I was over here helping set up and I got a chance to really look at what is being put together, it is just amazing. So thank you and all the people who helped make this come true, because it's terrific. Does that mean all those green signs are going to eventually go away? No. I'm kidding. Okay. After I give directions here, I would like all the recipients of this year's Hidden Treasures Honor Roll to meet in the Center Hall. Once we are ready to begin, you will be introduced to our audience. There are volunteers who will help you line up in the order you're going to be announced, and when your name is announced, you will come forward. This is the very skinny aisle. So those of you who are there, I would ask you to try to be thinner, even though you've had a great breakfast. When you have come down and gone through the receiving line, you can exit around to the right here. I think the exit might be easier than the entrance, but we're looking forward to seeing you either way. What I like best about this breakfast is the stories that I get to share with you about the wonderful individuals and the community organizations that make our community a great place to live. So let's get started. First, it's my pleasure to welcome many of our elected officials who are here to congratulate our winners. Please come up in the order that you're introduced, lining up to my left. Representing United States Congressman Gary Peters is Colleen Peters. State Senator Mike Cole. Oakland County Clerk Lisa Brown. County Commissioners Marcia Gershenson, Christine Lawn, and John Scott. Mayor Joel Yoder from Keego Harbor. Mayor Jackie Beach from the city of Orchard Lake Village. Supervisor Michelle Economou-Aresti from West Bloomfield Township. Howard Barron, Greg Janecki, and Randy Sakwa, Board of Education Presidents from Bloomfield Hills, Walled Lake, and West Bloomfield. Cheryl Mitchell, who is representing the West Bloomfield Parks and Recreation Commission. And Ken Macon, President of the West Bloomfield Township Public Library Board. Thank you to all the elected officials. There are others of you who are here this morning. We appreciate your being here. To commemorate this occasion, each honoree will receive a variety of tributes. Plaques and medallions are provided by the Michigan Week Committee and presented on behalf of the cities of Keego Harbor, Orchard Lake Village, West Bloomfield Township, and the school districts of Bloomfield Hills, Walled Lake, and West Bloomfield. Certificates of special recognition have been provided by government officials, and we thank them for their special personal contribution for our honorees this morning. I am proud to introduce to you this year's Hidden Treasure Honor Roll class of 2014. Members of this group were nominated by community organizations. I do encourage wild applause for each honoree this morning, and will give you the opportunity after I introduce each one and briefly tell you about them. Cheryl Beanstock. Cheryl is nominated by the West Bloomfield School District and is the current chairperson for the West Bloomfield Educational Foundation Board of Directors. This foundation helps generate funds for school programs and equipment. Cheryl has spearheaded successful events, including Coins for Our Cause, the Festival of Music, and the $10,000 raffle. Congratulations, Cheryl. Stacy Brickman. Stacy is nominated by the Orchard Lake Middle School Theater Department. Stacy's work as producer, particularly helping with the many details of musical theater at OMS, enables the directors to concentrate their efforts on student achievement. Her ability to bring a sense of community and her strong business skills has strengthened the program. Congratulations, Stacy. Our next four treasures have something in common. They were co-chairs for this year's 20th anniversary of West Bloomfield's United We Walk program, the event that celebrates the life of Martin Luther King Jr. I would like to introduce these student co-chairs to you individually. Marcus Brooks. Marcus was nominated by the African American Parent Association. Marcus served as a reliable anchor as part of the leadership team for United We Walk. He read a children's book to elementary students, making Dr. King's life leap off the page, encouraging students to participate in a class discussion. Congratulations, Marcus. Nicholas Foster was nominated by the West Bloomfield Clergy Association and Community Forum. Nicholas took it upon himself to drive over to Roosevelt Elementary School with balloons to present to the United We Walk third grade essay contest winner. Also, during the West Bloomfield Library's 75th anniversary celebration, Nick executed a commanding leadership role to oversee hundreds of youth and their families. Congratulations, Nicholas. Sarah Nuremberg. Sarah was nominated by MLK 365, a partner of United We Walk. Sarah kept the leadership team focused on completing their goals. She conducted a significant portion of the research for the 3 MLK 365 signature programs hosted in August at the West Bloomfield Township Public Library. Sarah is also president of student leadership at WBHS. Congratulations, Sarah. Rachel Warnecki. Rachel was nominated by the West Bloomfield Optimist Club. Rachel is an artist and designed the United We Walk student co-chair's first t-shirt and logo. Besides being a student co-chair, she served in a leadership role during the summer celebration of the 50th anniversary of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s Dream Speech. Congratulations, Rachel. Gail Ernstein. Gail was nominated by the Greater West Bloomfield Community Coalition and is a longtime volunteer for the West Bloomfield Elementary School program, Kids in Charge. This is the program that teaches kids drug and alcohol education. She has received rave reviews from both teachers and students alike and has, over the years, helped to update the curriculum by selecting videos and materials for the program. Congratulations, Gail. Ellen Simmons. Ellen is also a longtime Kids in Charge volunteer and was nominated by Lisa Kaplan, the coordinator of the KIC program. Lisa says that Ellen is fast to take on extra classrooms when there is a shortage of volunteers, and the staff and students just love her. Ellen is also a steering committee member of our Children's Fund in the West Bloomfield School District. Congratulations, Ellen. Eleanor Gerard. Eleanor was nominated by the City of Keego Harbor. She has been on numerous boards and committees, including chairperson of the Keego Harbor Parks and Recreation Commission, member of the Board of Review, and an election inspector. She also created the Taste of Keego, which brought together restaurants and community and was a huge success. Congratulations, Eleanor. Alice Matonic. Alice was nominated by Friends of the West Bloomfield Library, where she has been volunteering for nearly 30 years at both of the libraries. She has done everything from sorting books for the popular book sales, served on the hospitality committee, and helped with Friday morning book talk programs. Congratulations, Alice. Sue McFatridge. Sue was nominated by the West Bloomfield Optimist Club Foundation. Sue handles both the annual essay and oratorical contests and has increased participation by making sure to communicate with district teachers. She also serves on the board and is always willing to volunteer as needed. Congratulations, Sue. Marilyn Monin. Marilyn was nominated by West Bloomfield Library Director Clara Borer. Clara says that Marilyn is a steady fixture each and every Monday morning at the library, and with her assistance, librarians can more easily process new materials. Her commitment to the library is truly amazing. Congratulations, Marilyn. Catherine Penrod. Catherine was nominated by Walled Lake Central High School. Katie's life was impacted forever when her younger brother Joe was diagnosed with Duchenne muscular dystrophy. She is head of the student advisory board made up of students recruited from numerous high schools. This board's mission is to volunteer and fundraise, and under her leadership, the board has raised thousands of dollars. She has traveled to Washington, D.C. to advocate for the Parent Project for Muscular Dystrophy, specifically for a bill that would help people like her brother, who will be wheelchair-bound as an adult. Congratulations, Katie. Reverend Chris Richards. Pastor Chris of Pine Lake Congregational Church was nominated by United We Walk. Pastor Chris re-energized the candlelight vigil that now incorporates spiritual music, dance, and narration while fully engaging the audience. He also successfully secured the West Bloomfield Clergy Association's participation in the event's community dinner. Congratulations, Pastor Chris. Joseph Suchek. Joe was nominated by the City of Orchard Lake Village and has lived in Orchard Lake for 47 years, and he's been a part of the Planning Commission since 1994. He has been involved in his community in many capacities, including with the West Bloomfield Optimist Club, the Salvation Army, the West Bloomfield United Methodist Church. He also supports Relay for Life and provides food baskets for needy families in the area. Congratulations, Joe. David Surrio. David was nominated by West Bloomfield Parks and Recreation. He is always the first volunteer to sign up to help in community-wide parks events. His smile and enthusiasm is always appreciated by the families that come to the events. He arrives early, stays late, and always helps to make sure events run smoothly. Congratulations, David. Bruce Tobin. Is Bruce Tobin here? Okay. Bruce Tobin is not here this morning, but he was nominated by Lisa Kaplan on behalf of our Children's Fund. Bruce has always been a generous supporter of our Children's Fund. He volunteers to distribute needed items to families in the community, always sharing the mission of our Children's Fund with everyone along the way. Congratulations to Bruce. Okay, receiving line, we've just gotten started. Flexing the knees a little. There are 3 Community Achievement Awards this year. This award honors community organizations for a project or endeavor that brings people together to accomplish something to benefit the greater community. Will the members of the Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society that are here today please stand up and be recognized? And then I would like to invite Gina Gregory to come forward to accept the award. All the members of the Historical Society that are here, please stand up and come forward, Gina. The Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society is celebrating 40 years of serving area residents. The museum at Long Lake and Orchard Lake Roads holds a monthly open house where visitors learn of local history through both permanent artifact and guest exhibits. They plan and execute up to 12 programs a year, with a guided tour of Apple Island being the highlight for young and old alike. More than 18,000 people have had a chance to explore this 35-acre island in Orchard Lake. The Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society has worked closely with Western Michigan University these past 2 years, allowing for an archaeological dig in hopes of obtaining a Michigan and National Register of Historical Places designation. The GWB Historical Society has published a local history book and has helped families connect to their ancestors. Thank you, Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society, for keeping our history alive. Speaking of history, this morning we learned all about the Motor Cities National Heritage Area Wayside Exhibit Signs program from Brian. We want to recognize the 7 individuals who contributed photos, text, and ideas for the wayside signs in Keego Harbor, Orchard Lake, Sylvan Lake, and West Bloomfield. Please stand if you are here this morning. Those contributing individuals include Sue Williams, Kara Kazanowski, Kyle Stalter, Scott Boone, Helen Jane Peters, Eric Wiegand, and Ron Gay. Ron, will you please come forward to receive the Community Achievement Award for the group? These volunteers edited each sign many times with revisions. Once the signs were manufactured, they helped with the placement of the signs in their community. These signs are now a permanent part of the history of that location. I am personally looking forward to finding those signs in our community. Thank you for your contribution to the community history. Will any members of the Sylvan Lake Garden Club who are attending this morning please stand? And will Barbara Ash please come forward to receive the Community Award for the club? The Sylvan Lake Garden Club has been active, are you ready? Since 1939. That's 75 years. And then my favorite part of this story is the first president, Josephine James, remained a member until her death at 102 in 2008. I love that story. The club was formed initially to beautify the city of Sylvan Lake, maintaining Memorial Park and teaching others about the knowledge of gardening. They expanded this to include purchasing playground equipment and starting a children's seed program. They have held an annual ice cream social in August since 1965. Members are proud of their city and enjoy making it beautiful through their club. What a jewel Sylvan Lake is, and thank you to members of the Sylvan Lake Garden Club for your contribution to its beauty. The Youth Volunteer Leadership Award is an opportunity for each area school district and private school to choose a student who best represents young volunteers in their schools. This year, we have leadership awards from Bloomfield Hills, Walled Lake, and West Bloomfield school districts. Please come forward as I call your name. Corbin Pontius. Corey is a senior at Walled Lake Central. He was the youngest natural qualifier to run in this 2014 Boston Marathon. How about that? He ran for Team Joseph. For those who cannot run, those who have Duchenne muscular dystrophy. While training, Corey maintained his 4.2 grade point average. He has been a cancer survivor since he was 4 years old, and his commitment to helping others is his lifelong mission. And he wants to become a surgeon. He has run for Make-A-Wish and for Beaumont Hospital Pediatric Unit. To date, he has raised $3,200 for Team Joseph Penrod to stamp out Duchenne muscular dystrophy. He is highly motivated and a fine example of an outstanding student volunteer. Congratulations, Corey. Jacob Rashty. Jacob is a junior at West Bloomfield High School and has clearly established himself as a leader and active member of our community. In school, he is involved in the leadership program and helps raise money for charities and promote school spirit. He also serves as a link, which is a student who works side by side with classmates who are either cognitively impaired or autistic. Outside of school, he volunteers with the Friendship Circle and is committed to helping special needs young people. On top of being a strong student in the classroom and with school activities, he is committed to making our school and our community a more vibrant, positive place. Congratulations, Jacob. Levi Title is a student from Bloomfield Hills who is not able to be here this morning, but Superintendent Rob Glass is going to accept the award on his behalf. And when I tell you where Levi is, you'll understand. He is not here this morning because he is at a wedding in China with his family. So let me tell you a little bit about Levi. He has worked with numerous organizations doing community service, including going to New Orleans to work in the schools and also to preserve the wetlands and gardens there. He has done summer in the city in Detroit, where he helped clean up and restore property. He also volunteers for the Bear Hug Foundation for kids with special needs and for the Friendship Circle, and this year he is president of the volunteers of that group. Congratulations, Levi, and thank you, Superintendent Glass. We're now going to make the reception line just a teeny bit longer. Will the current Chamber of Commerce President, Carla Schwartz, please come forward and join our reception line to my left? Where are you? Oh, she had to leave. Okay, come on up. All right. This year's Chamber of Commerce Excellent and Civic Leadership Award is being given to Alan LeDuc of Berger, Gersey, and LeDuc PLC CPA. Alan, come on up. This award honors a member of the Greater West Bloomfield Chamber of Commerce who exhibits extraordinary service to the community, encourages others to lead and serve, and models civic engagement, partnership, and community pride. Alan is always extremely generous with his time and expertise, and I know that there are other community organizations present who feel this is a well-deserved award. Thank you, Alan, for your service to our community. You were supposed to go down the line. And thank you to the Chamber of Commerce as well. You can sit down. As current president of the Keego Harbor Optimist Club, I would like to ask John Scott to dance to your left to congratulate the scholarship winners from the Keego Harbor Optimist Club. Please come forward as I call your name. Asme El Kasali. Asme attends West Bloomfield High School and has been awarded the Joanne Andres Scholarship, which is for $2,500. She volunteers at both Chico and Roosevelt Elementary Schools and says one of her dreams is to start a charity in the hopes of making others' lives more tolerable. She plans to attend the University of Michigan Dearborn. Congratulations, Asme. Isaac Walton. Isaac attends West Bloomfield High School and has been awarded the Ledge Tomlinson Scholarship for $2,000. He feels that leadership is a quiet example of self-responsibility and wise stewardship of talents and opportunities. He plans to study biology, especially the ocean, and has been accepted to many state universities. But are you really still deciding, Isaac, or have you decided? Still deciding. He has like 6 to 8 to pick from. I think he'll be fine. Congratulations, Isaac. I believe Douglas Husick is not able to be here. Is that correct? Okay. Douglas, let me tell you a little bit about him. Douglas has been awarded the Keego Harbor Optimist Scholarship for $500. Douglas's interests are philosophy, communications, and literature, and he loves debate, actively participating on the West Bloomfield High School debate team. He has been accepted at Wayne State University and hopes to become an educator and start his own debate program. Congratulations to Douglas, and thank you, Keego Harbor Optimist Club. I would now ask current president of the West Bloomfield Optimist Club, Chief Jay Wiseman, to come forward to help congratulate the West Bloomfield Optimist Scholarship winners. Please come forward when I call your name. Lindsay Reamer. Lindsay attends West Bloomfield High School and has been awarded the Florence and Wesley Berry Scholarship for $1,000. Lindsay also won first place in the West Bloomfield Optimist Club essay contest with her essay on how dreams lead to success. She has been volunteering for the Friendship Circle since 2007. That's an incredible commitment. And although her major is undecided at this time, she will be attending the University of Michigan. Congratulations, Lindsay. Shlomo Honig. Shlomo attends Waldbeck Northern High School and has been awarded the West Bloomfield Optimist Past President Leadership Scholarship for $1,000. Shlomo is president of the Community Service Interact Club at his school, which is sponsored by Rotary International, and he's been tutoring students at Keith Elementary for the past 4 years. He will attend Washington and Lee University in Lexington, Virginia, and will major in pre-med and geology. Congratulations, Shlomo. Is Brianna Carcho here this morning? No? Okay. Brianna was awarded the Neary Alex Scholarship for $500, which this year is made in honor of Wally Alex and Lucy Koviak. Brianna attends West Bloomfield High School and participated in the medical mentorship program, and she loved it. She now wants to become a physician. She will major in biological science and attend the University of Michigan. Congratulations to Brianna. And thank you, West Bloomfield Optimist Club. Okay, I would now like to invite Joan Bussell, the president of the West Bloomfield Rotary Club, to come forward to present the Strive Scholarships. Please come forward when I call your name. Let's wait for, okay. Jesse Hike Kaplan. The Strive Scholarship stands for Students Taking Renewed Interest in the Value of Education. It's a motivational program targeted at high school seniors who wish to improve their present educational status and life prospects. We are very proud of Jesse, who plans to further his education. Congratulations, Jesse. Kyle Timothy McDermott is also a Strive Scholarship winner, and I believe he was not able to be here this morning. So I would like everyone to also congratulate Kyle, even though he's not here. I can now say to the reception line people, first of all, let's have one more round of applause for all the honorees and scholarship winners this morning. We're getting really close. Okay. It has been our tradition to conclude the award ceremony with the presentation of the Gretschko Awards. Here to make those presentations and wrap up our program this morning, Deb Macon.
Thank you, Donna. It's a pleasure to share the fun in identifying those in our community who do the very most to make this a wonderful, wonderful place to live. It is an honor and a privilege to have the opportunity to present the Gretschko Awards. This year marks the 12th anniversary of presenting our community's most prestigious competitive recognition. In 2002, the Greater West Bloomfield Michigan Week Committee instituted an award to perpetually honor one of our community's greatest heroes for youth, a man whose focus on how will it impact the child so permeated his thinking that it would only be fitting to create a new method of honoring those who go well above and beyond the call of duty in their love, care, concern, and their advocacy for our community's youth. If I must err, let me err on the side of the child was one of our late superintendent's mottos. The Dr. Seymour Gretschko Youth Advocate Award will be presented for unerring, uncompromising, and unrestrained support of youth. The recipient of the Dr. Seymour Gretschko Youth Advocate Award, recognizing a group of individuals working together, must accomplish a great deal, and that includes they must serve Greater West Bloomfield, the 3 cities, and the township. They must demonstrate that advocacy and education of youth have played a significant role. They must model visionary leadership. They must contribute to building a more inclusive society. They must have a sustained impact, and they must create effective partnerships on behalf of youth and motivate others to strive for professional excellence. The group being recognized has accomplished each of these criteria and more. Each individual in this group is an accomplished leader with a deep commitment to student success as individuals and collectively. The positive impact that each group member makes is experienced as a ripple across the community because collectively they are involved in the youth supporting organizations and initiatives, all of them across our community. Partnerships to further positive outcomes for youth are what this team is all about. Just thinking about quantifying their accomplishments is overwhelming. As the nominator stated, the proof is in the pudding. Just look or try to look at all of the ordinary and extraordinary things done by the students graduating from West Bloomfield High School. Let's join together to congratulate the winner of the 2014 Gretschko Youth Advocate Award, the West Bloomfield School District Building Administrative Team with 14 phenomenal members. All right, a lot of you are here. Let's see how many of you can come on up. All right. Let's hear who they are. Tom Shelton, Arthur Ebert, Mara Hoffert, Patrick Watson from West Bloomfield High School, Amy Hughes, Eric Pace from Abbott, Morrison Borders and Scott Long from Orchard Lake Middle School, Beth Fighton from Roosevelt, Sally Drummond from Gretschko, James Scrivo from Scotch, Robin Kocher from Doherty, Sonia James from Shaco, and Jennifer Newman from Oakland Early College. Is this not an incredible group or what? I believe a group picture is being formed in the middle. Please. Our pictures are important. We're learning this is history in the making. The next recognition will be presented to an individual. It has also been a tradition to invite those previous Gretschko individual honorees to welcome the current honoree, and a few are present today. I know at least two of you are here, so won't you please join us at the receiving line. The Gretschko previous individual winners include Clara Bora, Al Dickin, Dr. Paul Lipson, come on up, Dr. James Geisler, Cameron Thomashay, Dr. Gary Faber, Jeffrey Stewart, Deb Macon, Dr. Joanne Andrews, and Carol Hack. Won't you please join us in the receiving line? This year's individual honoree has a long and distinguished history of service to the community that spans more than 2 decades. This honoree is an accomplished governance leader and exceptionally passionate and articulate when it comes to assuring that both the consistent framework and needed resources must be made available to assure student success. As a youth advocate, This honoree is relentless in efforts to facilitate partnerships and seek proactive solutions across our very diverse community, and also believes, as the nominator presented, in building community through bringing people together and sharing our faiths and culture. The 2014 Dr. Seymour Gretschko Youth Advocate Award chose to raise his family in the Walled Lake Consolidated School District, and all of Michigan is fortunate. Let's congratulate Bridge Builder, 20-year board member, and my friend, Mark Siegler. Congratulations, Mark. So the public knows we work really hard to keep the winner of the Gretschko Award under wraps, and the nominators have to cajole and scheme in order to get them here without revealing the results. Only our esteemed presenters of certificates know the winner because they are preparing certificates, and we make them swear to secrecy. We also have a concluding tradition. The only person that is invited to speak, Mark, please come on back. And I would ask the receiving line if you could make just a little bit of space so Mark can be seen as he is accepting and acknowledging his recognition. Mark, this is an absolute pleasure.
Thank you, Deb. It's funny when you run into Deb 2 or 3 times in the last few weeks, and she always just looks at you with this nice smile and says, hello. Obviously, she knew something I didn't. And to my friends in Walled Lake Consolidated School District and to Mr. Gutman and Central Administration, thank you, because you really got me at a loss for words. But since they asked my wife if she would join me for breakfast, I thought I'd better put something together last night, not knowing what it was. So some quick thoughts. When an individual volunteers to become involved in a program, they become involved without anticipating any accolades. They find a purpose and hope that their involvement has a positive effect on all involved. They are willing to offer input, listen, take criticism, walk the walk, talk the talk, and do whatever they can to achieve all of the combined goals. 20-plus years ago, I had the opportunity to become a volunteer and was appointed to a vacant seat on the then small, roughly 7,000 student Walled Lake Consolidated School Board, where we now have over 15,000 students. We've grown a little bit. I've worked with a group of wonderful, sincere, concerned, dedicated community members, school administration, staff, cabinet, and a great group of board members throughout the years. They've helped to keep me focused, keep me on track, to provide the best for all involved in our community. Whether it be seniors at Fox Run who are taking classes, programs that we're offering off-site, to preschool to elementary programs, just involving ourselves. As a community and as one, and as Mr. Gutman said when he came in, the best for every child every day, and it's the best for our community every day. I've been fortunate to have an employer, Sherwood Foods, who's allowed me to have a lot of flex time in trying to get from what was the east side of Detroit down to Walled Lake for school meetings and programs, and I really want to thank them for that. And I want to thank my family, my wife Linda, my daughter Jory, my son Aaron, for allowing me to, as my daughter once said, Dad, I hated you. You were at everything every time I turned around. And now that I am a parent, I can appreciate it. And I want to thank you for being there because it meant a lot. But it took me a long time to realize that. So to my family, thank you for allowing me to spend nights, weekends, a lot of them at coffee houses, at schools, meeting with a great group of parents and concerned citizens. Thank you to all who were involved with nominating me, and as I would say a long time ago, it's great to be a volunteer. Thank you.
As we come just a few minutes short of closing, there are a few other thank yous that we'd like to offer, and I would invite the receiving line to thank you, and if you wish to have a seat, you may do that. All right. The Michigan Week Committee would like to call your attention to our very, very important partners and supporters. We have a lot of fun for a very long time, and this would not be possible without the wonderful supporters listed on the back of the program. And first, I'm going to ask, will everyone who is listed as one of our supporters please stand? Because we'd like to say thank you to you. All right, come on. That's English Gardens. That's West Bloomfield Parks and Recreation. That's Orchard Lake. That's Parks. That's also our school districts, all of them. That's also our West Bloomfield favorite community spot, the library. And our colleagues with the Cable Commission are very busy. Our partner making sure that we will be able to see this program tonight. It will be broadcast tonight, so would you please join me in thanking all of our partners. If you are part of a community organization that has a name not on the back of the program, we would like to invite you to join us. On your table, the awards committee is seeking feedback. We believe we can always do a better job and can only do that with your help. Would you be willing to leave your name and contact information so we too can pick your brain and get your ideas? What worked well, and what is something that we could do a better job of to be more inclusive and more committed. Please take advantage of that. That also gives a wonderful opportunity to say this. The awards work proceeds with a very, very thoughtful group of colleagues. When I call your name, would you please stand? Carol Hack, Cheryl Mitchell, Barb Moretsky, Anita Penson, and Marian Sadich. These are the members of the awards committee that spend quite a bit of time reviewing everything submitted. We also want to make sure that if you may have missed some information, we would like to include you. So the note on your table is also asking for your opportunity to be part of 2015's Michigan Week Committee. One more. Will all the members of the Michigan Week Committee who did heavy lifting for a very long time stand so you can be recognized? That includes Bill and Clara and Pat Chapin, Judy Avola, Judy Garver, Gina Gregory, Megan Kernat, Helen Jane, Donna, Melanie Torbert, Pam Zajac, where are you? These are the people who all year round work to make sure we can bring this to you. We do have a lot of fun. Won't you jump in and be part of this? Notice at the bottom of your program the details on how to find this fine production from Civic Center TV on your cable as well as at civiccentertv.com. I would be remiss if I did not repeat that. It is a pleasure always having Civic Center TV as a partner. By the way, if you're not sending your press releases to Civic Center TV, you're missing out. So please take advantage of that. Thank you, everyone, for your very kind attention. There is one more to do. You see those beautiful centerpieces on the table? Well, our partner, English Gardens, has made those available. And here is the idea. We've come up with a thought, and thanks to Gina for this. Will anyone whose birthday has the number 4 in it, taking advantage of our theme, Signs for Our Times, please be the recipient of the centerpiece. We would love that. Thank you, everyone, for your very kind attention. Thank you, thank you. Have another wonderful Michigan morn. Good afternoon.